Hey, you're watching Music for Miles, your go-to spot for all things audio gear and guitar. Today we're looking at this all-in-one turntable from a brand called Stackstone. This model is called Savage the One. Now, I never thought I would review an all-in-one turntable because they're typically garbage. This model, however, changed my mind, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michael, this is Music for Miles. Today we're taking a look at this really cool all-in-one turntable from a brand I have not heard of before they contacted me called Stackstone. I think the reason why they're calling it the one is because it's the one unit you really need. It has built-in speakers, has pretty decent specs with the turntable, and it even has Bluetooth connectivity if you want to listen to music via Bluetooth. So in the intro, I said I typically would never review all-in-one turntables, and there's a few reasons why. Now, you get a ton of resonance if you turn the volume up and you have a speaker attached to the platter. That means you're gonna get vibrations, you're gonna get all kinds of unwanted noise, skipping, all kinds of really bad problems that typically come with those suitcase type turntables. Now, Stackstone, and I think that's why they're called Stackstone, is they have an isolation platform that is stacked on top of the speakers. Meaning when you crank up the volume on these speakers, all those vibrations get absorbed by these dampeners in here, and they do not transfer to the actual turntable itself. Now, in theory, that sounds awesome, and I did test it, it does work, and that is one of the main reasons why I'm actually featuring this on my channel. This isolation platform really does change things up. Now, who is this product really for? If you're an audiophile and you're looking for something high grade, this is not for you. If you're getting into vinyl, you want decent sound. Now, this can definitely sound really good. You can't EQ it, but it does sound decent. So if you want decent sound to fill a small room, and I mean a small room, bedroom, office, or even like a really small living room, this can definitely do the job. However, it's not going to fill up larger rooms with sound, and it's gonna be pretty lackluster in the bass if you are a bass head. However, there is a built-in phono preamp on this unit, which means you can connect this to an external amp and use whatever system you want. But I think the real selling point for this is just it's an all-in-one unit, and it's great for people who want to listen to music in their bedrooms or their offices. Now, we're not going to do an unboxing and setup with this turntable. I will go over how easy it was to set it up. However, this channel, I've been trying to increase the quality standards, and anything that is a solicited product review where people reach out to me to review their products, it goes through 2 weeks of full testing. Meaning I set this thing up 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to do it live on camera, and I've been testing it in my home, putting all kinds of different records and genres on here, turning the volume all the way up, turning it down, hooking it up to an external speaker source, making sure this thing actually is the quality that I'm expecting from brands like this for the price. And this is going to cost you around $249 to about $300, depending on what specials are going on. And the primary spot where I found this is on Amazon. Okay, so I went over the brand, we went over what this turntable is, and who the best audience is to buy this turntable. So why don't we go over some of the technical specifications. Setup for this thing was a breeze. It came 90% set up for you, and it is pre-aligned. The cartridge was ready to go. I didn't have to mess with anything except for, like I mentioned, putting the belt on and then just putting that weight on. So that being said, it is a belt-driven unit. It is pretty quiet. It does have about a 3.5 pound platter on here, which is pretty high quality. Now, moving over to the right, you do get a Audio-Technica cartridge, and it's going to be AT3600L cartridge, which is featured on a lot of great turntables. It's a workhorse of a cartridge. I mean, nothing in the realm of audiophile quality, but it'll definitely give you warm resonant sound if you're into rock and roll, hip hop, or pop music. Now, the head shell on here is aluminum, as well as the tone arm, so everything on here is high quality. Everything is fully adjustable, and if you wanted to, you actually could swap out this cartridge. You do get a tone arm lock, which is great, so if you're traveling with this, want to bring it to a buddy's house, the tone arm will not go anywhere when you engage the lock. Everything is manual on this turntable, so you do have a manual tone arm lift, which has a really great solid feel to it. And again, this is made of aluminum as well. Now, the cool thing here too is there is an adjustable weight in the back, so if the tracking force seems a little bit off to you, you do have some flexibility to mess with that. So the plinth itself is a laminate wood, which I think this is the walnut model that I got, and you get this really cool brushed aluminum plate that goes over the plinth where all the electronics are. On this brushed aluminum plate, you have a switch here for LP or Bluetooth. So if you want to listen to Bluetooth music, you just switch over to Bluetooth and you can connect to this thing fairly easily and listen to your music. So your speed over here is 33, the middle is off, and then the top one's 45. Below that, you do have a very nice high quality volume knob. Obviously, you're going to control your volume. There's not much you can do about the EQ on this. all-in-one unit because it does have a lot of different speakers packed into this thing, which we're gonna go over right now. So the front grille is removable. If you like to show off these speakers, you can. Okay, so let's go over the speakers. I turned the turntable to the side a little bit, so hopefully you can see what's going on the side there. But you're gonna have 4 speakers in the front. So you're gonna have 2 tweeters, you're gonna have 2 mid-range bass woofers, and then you're having what they call on the side here, 2 bass auxiliary units, or 2 pro bass auxiliary units. But they're claiming this adds an enhanced bass effect that's gonna go about 20 to 63 hertz. Let's talk about the built-in amplifier for these speakers. Now, the only thing that they mentioned on the website that it is hi-fi, and they put some specs in there. However, they did not mention how many watts the amp is. However, they did mention some things such as the sensitivity being at 78.4 dB, signal to noise ratio is going to be at 89.2 dB, the low frequency extensions at 70 hertz, and the channel separation is at 52 dB. It does have electromagnetic shielding modules, and the signal distortion is less than 0.01%. So that means it's going to be a pretty clean amplifier. However, I don't know how loud it is because they didn't tell me how many watts it is. It can get pretty loud and fill a small room full of sound, but it's not going to be shaking the walls. You're not going to keep your neighbors up at night if you wanted to turn this on. Okay, so we're going to flip the turntable around and take a look at some of the connections on the back. So here is the back, very, very clean, and there's something awesome that they put on the back of this turntable. They have a built-in pitch adjustment right here. It does come with a tool. It's a ceramic screwdriver that you can stick in here and you can adjust the speed. So if you're listening to some music and you have a strobe app or something like that and you think it's too fast or too slow, you can adjust it. You don't have to take this turntable apart. So Stackstone, major props for including the pitch adjustment on the back. One of my most popular videos on YouTube has to do with adjusting the speed of an Audio-Technica LP60, which is a pain in the ass. You have to turn the thing upside down, poke through a felt pad, and then you can finally get to the adjustment screw, and you're kind of in there turning it around blind. So this is rad, the fact that they included that. Now you do have your RCA out, so if you would like to take the signal from your turntable into an amplifier, you can do that. You can do line or phono. So there is a built-in phono preamp, or you can choose to not use the preamp and use whatever preamp you like, phono preamp with your stereo, and there is a connection here for your ground. If you want to get rid of some of that ground noise, you can. The bass ports are kind of built in on the side, so there is no rear port for your bass, so you can put this technically right up against a wall and not worry about having any kind of vibration issues with that. I wanted to mention the cover. So here's how the cover works, and I'm going to be fully transparent here. This is kind of a half-ass cover. I would have liked an actual cover on this thing, but it does come with this thing, which is kind of like half of a cover. It just goes over your spindle here, and this will protect, I guess, your stylus, but you could still hit it. It'll protect it from stuff falling on it. It's not going to keep dust off at all. So this will double as a record holder. It does come with this nice little stand here, and all you need to do is you align the cover into this stand. You could put it right next to your turntable. We're gonna pick out an album. Let's listen to some Goldfinger. I got this Hello Destiny album here. So here's how the record stand works. Whatever you're listening to sits right there just fine. All right, so we're gonna turn the power on. This is a 33, so I'm gonna turn the switch to 33, taking off my tone arm lock. And I'm gonna start with the volume in a very low position so I don't blow my ears out. All right, where I got the record where I want it, I'm gonna release the lift. So here, we're gonna talk about the volume here. When you're at like 25%, it's extremely low. This is very, very low. When you get to about halfway, that's a comfortable listening volume, like in an office if you're multitasking. When you get to 75%, it's starting to get a little louder. I'm having to raise my voice. But if you want the bass to really kick in, I put it to about 90%. So the isolation platform does a really good job of isolating the speakers and not bringing that resonance into the cartridge itself and the stylus. However, it's not going to protect your records from skipping if you accidentally bump into it. But I mean, a lot of turntables are like that. Not really a way around it. Maximum volume now, so this will be max volume. We've done everything except for test the Bluetooth, so let's do that right now. I'm gonna put it into Bluetooth mode. I'm gonna go onto my phone. It should automatically go into pairing mode. Savage, the one. Let's connect to that. I already pre-tested this. I just want to demonstrate to you guys how the Bluetooth works. Now, I don't think the Bluetooth is a selling point for this all-in-one unit, for me at least, because I have a bunch of other Bluetooth and Sonos connections. But for someone who doesn't have a Bluetooth speaker in their bedroom, this thing sounds killer. Like, the speaker itself sounds awesome. And if you're using certain apps on your phone, you can actually tweak the EQ to really hear some of the bass in this all-in-one unit. Okay, so we went over pretty much every aspect of this all-in-one unit. So you can buy this right now. If you go online, free shipping, $239. So do I think this turntable is worth $239? Yes, I actually do think this is well worth $239. If you're somebody who is looking to get a all-in-one unit for a bedroom, an office, or a very small living room, this all by itself will do the job. Now keep in mind, you got to turn the volume at least 50% to get the speakers to really shine. If you're listening at 15 to 20%, it's gonna be really hard to hear. Now I think this unit though, with everything built into it, the isolation platform, how, the high quality components, the aluminum parts, there's not a whole lot of cheap plastic used on this thing. Even the wood laminate that's used on the plinth and the cabinet are very, very top quality. And you can also have options to upgrade your cartridge, which is great. A lot of the turntables at this level, they don't have any kind of upgrades available. What with this, you do. Now let's talk about some things I didn't like so much. They don't mention how many watts the speakers are, and I don't think they get very loud from 0 to 50%. It seems like they could have given it a lot more juice, between 20 and 50%, instead of giving you all the power from 50 to 100. Again, like, you gotta crank this thing to about 75% for these speakers to really move and get the air moving. It would have been nice if they put a lot more power into it sooner. One more thing I was not a huge fan of is I don't like how the record hangs over the platter a little bit. It would have been nice if they made the platter a little wider, because they have the room. There is no cover that comes down. Aside from that though, I really don't have much complaints. $239, well worth your money. I thought I would never review an all-in-one unit on this channel because I typically hate them. I don't hate this, and even just as a Bluetooth speaker, this thing really pumps. So my final word of advice, if you do have a suitcase all-in-one unit, sell it and buy this one. It's going to blow it away. It's way higher quality. This thing actually looks very nice and very modern. It looks like a piece of furniture if you stick it in a living room or bedroom. It gets 2 thumbs up for me. I think you guys should check it out. Link can be found below. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you want me to review next? I would love to hear from you. Comment section is open below. Until next time, I am Michael. This is Music for Miles. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.